It is 7 a.m. and the blizzard of 2026 is just pounding our area with snow right now. We have Team 12 coverage of this major winter storm.
Absolutely. So let's start with meteorologist Addison Green to get the latest on the storm. Addison.
Yeah, ladies, unfortunately, we are still dealing with the brunt of this system. That started early in the morning hours, pretty much around midnight, where we had bands of even heavy snow coming on with thunder snow that was quickly reducing the visibility as snow really started to pile up. You can see how that visibility has been looking during this hour, where it's down to, I should say, is around half a mile or less. But we do have our very own Lisa LaRocca out and about in the Elmsford area in Westchester County. And Lisa, you've been showing us how those roads are looking, and Thunderbolt 12, wow, has seen better days. It is covered with snow.
Oh my gosh, it's bad. And I'll tell you what, if you go on Facebook pages, I was taking some video as we were driving. We were just in Dobbs Ferry, made it over here to Elmsford. We're on Route 119. You go on my Facebook pages and you can see, and on Instagram, just what it's like to drive. Visibility is very, very low. I mean, you know, at least it's starting to get light out, which helps, but still, it's scary driving out there, you know. And the thing is, if you are not comfortable driving in this kind of weather, or when, you know, you get snow, you're really not going to be comfortable in this. And you know, the problem is, excuse me, getting pelted in the face, in the mouth with snow. It's blowing all over the place. You know, we've seen people driving maybe 10 miles an hour on the Sawmill Parkway with the blinkers going right down the middle of the road. Not a good idea. So I just keep saying, if you're not comfortable driving in bad weather, this is not the time to be out. We're seeing plenty of plows out, but the problem is they'll do a pass. It'll get to a little bit of blacktop, and in no time it's covered again. So again, please stay home. Dangerous conditions out here. We'll be out in Thunderbolt. We'll let you know what's going on. We're in Elmsford, Westchester County. Let's go back to the studio.
Okay, Lisa, please be safe. Get back in Thunderbolt 12. Dutchess County has been hit hard by this blizzard. News 12's Ben Nandes in Wappinger with the latest there.
Right, good morning. We're here at 9D and I-84 in Beacon. The wind is what gets you. Take a look at downtown Beacon. It's almost eerie. No one there. Plow crews and police must be pleased about that. I've seen a few sedans struggling with snow spinning out, including here at this gas station a few minutes ago. A lot of plow crews. You see here a state DOT vehicle. They have been out in force. I've seen mostly essential workers, except this gentleman, Sean Finnegan. He's headed to a ski outing that his friends had planned for some time. He's not above calling it off, though.
We committed to it. We go to Vermont all the time. We felt like we could probably handle it, and we're going to go up one exit and make the call. If it's too sketchy when we get up there, we'll turn around.
Good thing he's not going east. On I-84, right near the Taconic State Parkway exit, you have a semi-truck blocking 2 lanes of traffic. We anticipate chasing scenes like that throughout the morning, and I hope you stay with me while I monitor conditions on this side of the river. Careful out there. In Dutchess County, Ben Nandes, News 12.
All right, Ben, thank you so much. A state of emergency is now in effect for all of New York State. Governor Kathy Hochul says that the National Guard is being deployed. More than 6,000 utility workers are on standby to deal with any power outage, but at last check, we're doing pretty good in the 7 o'clock hour when it comes to that. More than 2,000 plows are now working to clear the roads, and the governor is urging all of us here in the Hudson Valley to please stay off those roadways and work from home if possible so crews can do their jobs. The governor is talking to News 12 later this morning, so please stay with us for updates as we continue to cover that part of the story.
The State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services is ready to tackle the storm head on. The Director of Emergency Management telling News 12 that the state's Emergency Operations Center is staying open throughout this storm. It brings together a variety of state agencies, all to help coordinate with different things. The state has also field teams partnering up with local crews around our region, but most importantly, just stay home.
It's also important that people don't go out of their house, because we know that if people walk, the blizzard-like conditions can be really disorienting, and they can be caught up and sort of confused about how to get back home. So it's really important that people hunker down.
The director says search and rescue teams, they're ready to be deployed if needed. Some safety tips right now this morning from Con Edison during this blizzard. To keep yourself safe, you should always stay at least 30 feet away from any downed power lines. Make sure that you have an emergency kit filled with water bottles, food, and blankets. To report a power outage, you could always use the Con Edison mobile app.
Well, travel bans are now in effect across the Hudson Valley. You are restricted from travel unless you're considered essential personnel. When it comes to commercial vehicles, you're required to travel exclusively in the right lane on all state roads. There is also a travel ban for tractor trailers with 2 or more trailers on the Thruway, 84 and 287. When it comes to the Mario Cuomo Bridge, there is a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit, but please drive for the conditions. You should be going even slower than that. The rules will be lifted when the conditions allow for it, but of course that is not the case right now. The roads in Rockland County extremely difficult to navigate this morning. The town of Ramapo police chief tells us the blizzard is making for very dangerous driving conditions. He has this request for people living in Ramapo.
I'm asking, and I mean this sincerely, please stay off the roads. Unless you're an essential worker, if you support law enforcement, the fire department, EMS, highway crews, and all of the people working trying to keep up on this storm, the single most important thing that you can do is stay off the road.
The chief tells us they have already responded to numerous accidents with drivers crashing into things like trees or even in some cases winding up in ditches. Rockland's highway superintendent says all trucks in the county are attacking the snow right now.
Once it stops, we'll push back to curb and do a complete salting. And then hopefully at that time, the public will be able to go back out on the road.
But we are a long way from that. That is also important to note that a state of emergency is in effect for Westchester's largest city. The mayor of Yonkers, Mike Spano, tells us that travel ban is now in effect till 10 a.m. That could change, however, so please stay with us for updates. We're hearing that could be extended in some areas. He adds that no parking will be allowed on snow emergency routes for the duration of the storm.
And I cannot make exceptions. And I know that here in Yonkers, parking is a premium, and I know that it is a hardship for many of you, and but that's something that we don't want to be in the position of doing something that will help you short term, but will really hurt you long term, because when that snows and the snow builds up and then it freezes over, cars are frozen in, and we can't clean the streets without a full recovery effort.
The mayor also says that parked cars that are not moved are subject to being ticketed or towed. For a full list of affected streets, you can visit the Yonkers City website.
Orange and Rockland Utility says that it's got people ready to tackle any outages in the area. Spokesperson says utility workers are given training year-round for weather events just like this one. Crews will be responding to outages as they happen. He says it's important to always be prepared.
Making sure they have flashlights and extra batteries ready to go. If an outage does occur, we encourage customers to reach out to us right away. Don't assume that we know.
And take a look at your screen here. You can use any of these methods if you need to report an outage. Hopefully you don't have to. The Yorktown Town Supervisor says that crews have been working nonstop to make sure everything gets done the right way. He says DPW trucks have been worked on all weekend to make sure that they are ready for this snow. They have been. They're currently on a full 24-hour blitz. He also urges you to obey the state of emergency rules and avoid parking on roads so that plows and first responders can get through.
Stay inside, keep your doors closed, and stop the draft under your doors so your house stays warm. We're going to look to opening stations after the storm cleanup. If there large-scale power outages, we have some our community emergency response team, which will be able to have shelter operations if needed.
He also urges you to obey the state emergency rules, again, to avoid parking as well. If you have a planned trip, you're probably not going to be leaving the Hudson Valley today. We have the latest on the flight cancellations. And they need to do their jobs in order to save lives. What firefighters need you to do so that they can respond quickly to emergencies during this storm. But first, let's get another check of that hyper-local forecast. Addison, I can't see anything out of this camera, just a few droplets on the screen there.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the truth, Jen. We can barely see in the distance. That visibility is down, most recently reported at around 1/4 mile, but it clearly looks like it could be even less than that. We can barely see the Metro North train station right there, and so you definitely can't see the Cuomo Bridge. So imagine trying to drive out and about. Your visibility is not going to be faring that much better, especially across portions of Westchester County, where we can see northwestern portions of it have this deeper, darker band. That's that moderate to heavy snow pushing in, heading from the east going westward. So our camera right out here just west of Elmsford and Tarrytown, looking across the Hudson River, gazing into the distance, but can clearly not see much in the distance out that way. And the visibility is running low in numerous spots from West Point to New City to Brewster down to Yonkers, around a mile or lower than that. We'll continue to deal with these blizzard conditions going through the first half of the day, where snow, gusty winds will impact travel concerns. We'll have coastal concerns to deal with as well for the high tide time frame, as well as another round later this afternoon.
All right, welcome back. Orange is dealing with lots of snow on roads across the county this morning. Joining us right now this morning is Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. I know you gave us a little look at the roads. It doesn't look too bad compared to what else we've been seeing throughout the morning.
So yeah, good morning. Look, the roads are still slick. I'm over at the industrial park in Chester. For the commuters, the parking lot hasn't been plowed out yet. So we're telling everybody the same message that you've heard from everybody throughout the Hudson Valley. Please stay home, stay out of the way for the first responders. We've had minimal amount of car accidents from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. last night to 6 a.m. today. Just about 30 or 40 minor car accidents. We only have about 200 people without power. So we're hoping to have this thing nailed down by lunchtime.
And I'm sure you have been speaking with other local officials across the county. Are they saying anything significant about this weather?
The only thing is that the roads are really slick. So a couple have requested to actually shut down roads, which we try not to do because we have a travel ban anyway. When you shut down roads, you make it difficult for first responders to get to places. There's still people that have medical issues. There's still fire calls. So if you stay home, you'll be helping us out, and we'll get you back to where your regular life is as soon as the storm is over.
And I just have to ask, just looking at you, you don't have a hat on, no scarf. That looks like a light jacket. Is it cold out there by you?
It's about 28 degrees, but you know what? It's been below freezing for the last month and a half. So this is like spring for Orange County.
Honestly, yeah, we could all handle it. All right, Steve Newhouse, Orange County Executive, thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great day. Thank you, guys.
You too. Well, all flights out of Westchester County Airport are now canceled because of this storm. And it's almost the same story out of LaGuardia and JFK, where all flights are canceled. JetBlue says that it will not be operating flights at all to or from JFK starting at 1 p.m. today and going until 5 a.m. on Wednesday. Again, you just want to make sure that you check in with your flight status before, if you could even head to the airport. Metro North is now running on an hourly schedule. Officials say that the railroad's snow fighting equipment is now in place across the region. It's being put to good use. Crews have tested heat circuits and cleared out air brake lines to prevent freezing. They're also using electric track heaters to melt away any snow and ice there. Weekend schedules are in place today on the branch lines on New Jersey Transit, west of Hudson service on the Port Jervis and Pascack Valley lines have been temporarily suspended as of Sunday evening. So that's a new update this morning.
And also this morning, I just got off the phone with the mayor of Mount Vernon. She tells us that they have 17 plows out pushing the snow, trying to clear the streets. At last check, about 10 inches of this white stuff in Mount Vernon. The Department of Public Works officials also talking to us and asking residents to be patient as crews work to clear the snow. The commissioner telling us the mechanics were working on their trucks before the storm to get them ready, and they have crews out servicing the road. They are confident that they're going to be able to handle whatever this blizzard brings.
We have the city broken down to 10 sections, north and south. We also have north side dead ends, south side dead ends. We have a couple of trucks for the small streets, and we have a truck for the parking lots as well.
The commissioner also advises all of you in that city to avoid parking on emergency snow routes or street corners, and you should not be shoveling snow back into the streets. Orange County health officials are also issuing an alert for all you new moms out there. If there does happen to be a power outage, if you have stored breast milk in your freezer, keep the doors closed as much as possible. It can still be used if it thaws, but it does need to be cold. Make sure you have the essentials like clean bottles and wipes handy, and make sure to take care of yourself as well, because we know that dealing with little ones can be extra challenging during a blizzard like this.
From the snow, the wind, flood warnings are also part of this winter storm. Coastal flood warnings. Towns along the South Shore, they're on high alert this morning. At the Mamaroneck Yacht Club, members are preparing for potential flooding damage. A coastal flood warning, it was put in place for southern Westchester. When high tide comes in, sea levels could potentially be 2.5 to 3 feet higher than normal.
If you get a wind, you got trouble. This is an island. That stone wall, whoever put it in, protected the whole area. Hopefully it'll go past us. Maybe the wind will push it out to the sea.
And we could also see some flooding concerns up the Hudson River.
Croton Hudson is warning you about flooding if you've parked a car at the Croton-Harmon train station. Local leaders shared this map. Take a look. They say if you've parked in lots H and I, which are close to the river, your car is in danger. They're urging you to make sure it is not in those sections and put it someplace else in other parking spots that are available.
Let's discuss how this blizzard is impacting us during this hour, where we can see that visibility is running low, and we can see it is going down in several spots across Rockland County, Westchester County, and over in towards portions of Putnam County, down to around half a mile or even lower than that. So we talked about how we had some bands of moderate to heavy snow moving in from the east earlier in the show. We can see that we have that visibility right here over near the Austin area and just west of Elmsford. Looking, it would be a little bit on the lower end with some moderate to heavy snow coming down. But how quickly is that snow coming through? For that, we take a look at our snowfall rate, which is showing us how things have looked over the past hours. We're scanning the sky, seeing how quickly that snow is coming down. And we can see we went from light blue, dark blue to purple, and even some pink popping up across northern portions of Westchester County, where we may have some brief high snowfall rates coming down right here, right along 202. There's Yorktown, and we can see right along Pine Grove Road, 4.5 inches of snow per hour could potentially fall, which means we could see that visibility really being very, very low, pretty much whiteout conditions, and the snow piling out very quickly. If we were to see that band stay in that same area for an hour, we would have 4.5 inches of snowfall just like that. So going forward through the first half of the day, blizzard concerns are out there. Bands of heavy snow coming down at high rates, gusty winds 30 to 50 miles per hour. Coastal concerns, they're still around. Even though the warning has been allowed to expire, they'll still be around with those large waves crashing ashore. As we make our way past 9 a.m. towards lunchtime, the bands of heavy snow are starting to back down. Towards that 3 o'clock hour, that's the time for you to step outside, try and remove some of that snow, but do so safely from your area before it hardens up overnight as those temperatures dip towards frigid levels.
It is 7:30 in the morning, and the blizzard of 2026 is just pounding our area with snow. We have Team 12 coverage of this major winter storm. I'm Lisa Salvadorini.
And I'm Jen Steele. We'll get a check of that forecast with meteorologist Addison Green in just a bit. But first, let's get out on the roads where Lisa LaRocca is. Lisa, where are you now?
We are in Elmsford, Route 119, and let me tell you something. It is not fun being outside. Wind is whipping, snow is blowing all different kinds of directions. Take a look out there. You can see, we're seeing the plows out, and they'll do a pass and maybe get down to some blacktop, but it doesn't take long for it all to get covered up again. Visibility, I mean, just look at that. Visibility is very, very low. Not fun. Dangerous to be on the roads. So really, if you don't have to be on the roads, don't. And I'll tell you what, everything's closed. I mean, we have to give a shout out to the guy here at 7-Eleven in Elmsford because he's closed, but he let us in to use the bathroom and get coffee. And we are so thankful because there's nothing open. Everything's shut down. So if you're thinking about, well, let me just run out just for a few, don't, because there's nothing open. But really, guys, all kidding aside, if you absolutely have to go out, please take it slow, be careful. Like I said, the visibility as you're driving, it's hard to see. It's not even a look at that, half a mile. Man, just whipping all over the place. Look at the way that is blowing. So again, don't be out here. Stay home, hunker down, be safe, and we'll continue to be out. We'll let you know what we're seeing. We're going to try to make it over to White Plains. We'll take a look and see what it's like there, so stick around for that. We're in in Elmsford, Westchester County. Let's go back to the studio.
Lisa,
Bad out here.
You're everywhere this morning, and you're showing us a clear picture of what it looks like out there. We appreciate it. Stay safe. We'll check back in a bit. Dutchess County has been hit hard by this blizzard. News 12's Ben Nandy's in Wappinger with the latest. What's it looking like there, Ben?
Right, good morning. We're here at 9D and I-84 in Beacon. The wind is what gets you. Take a look at downtown Beacon. It's almost eerie. No one there. Plow crews and police must be pleased about that. I've seen a few sedans struggling with snow spinning out, including here at this gas station a few minutes ago. A lot of plow crews. You see here a state DOT vehicle. They have been out in force. I've seen mostly essential workers, except this gentleman, Sean Finnegan. He's headed to a ski outing that his friends had planned for some time. He's not above calling it off, though.
We committed to it. We go to Vermont all the time. We felt like we could probably handle it, and we're going to go up one exit and make the call. If it's too sketchy when we get up there, we'll turn around.
Good thing he's not going east. On I-84, right near the Taconic State Parkway exit, you have a semi-truck blocking 2 lanes of traffic. We anticipate chasing scenes like that throughout the morning, and I hope you stay with me while I monitor conditions on this side of the river. Careful out there. In Dutchess County, Ben Nandy, News 12.
All right, Ben, thank you. And from Dutchess County, we turn to Orange County. Not hit as hard as other areas, but it's still snowing there. News 12's Blaze Gomez is in Cornwall with more on how it looks in that community.
I'm in downtown Cornwall right now, and you could see we did get some snow, but it is very quiet except for this DPW here worker behind me. Businesses that would normally be open now, like the local coffee shop here behind me, are closed. This one here is completely dark. Now crews are out trying to keep the roads clear here. You can see this guy, he's made a couple passes back and forth on the sidewalk to keep things passable. Roads look pretty good. My ride in wasn't too bad as well. Some of the secondary roads seem to be okay. And of course, with a storm of this magnitude, there are some power outages. There's several hundred people in the Hudson Valley without power right now, about 100 here in Orange County. Conditions are expected to improve by midday. We'll keep you posted. Stay with us. In Cornwall, Blaze Gomez, News 12.
Blaze, thank you. And despite the conditions there, a state of emergency is still in effect for all of New York State this morning. Governor Kathy Hochul says the National Guard deployed, more than 6,000 utility workers on standby to deal with any massive power outages, and more than 2,000 plows are working to clear the roads across the state. She is urging all of us here in the Hudson Valley to please stay off the roads, work from home as possible so crews can do their jobs. The governor is talking to News 12 this morning, so stay with us for updates on that.
The State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, they're ready to tackle the storm head on right now this morning. The Director of Emergency Management telling News 12 that the state's Emergency Operations Center, it's staying open throughout this storm. It brings together a variety of state agencies to work together. The state also has some field teams out there partnering up with local crews around the Hudson Valley. But most importantly, people need to stay home.
It's also important that people don't go out of their house, because we know that if people walk, the blizzard-like conditions can be really disorienting, and they can be, caught up and sort of confused about how to get back home. So it's really important that people hunker down.
Absolutely. The director says that search and rescue teams are ready to be deployed this morning if needed. Right now, some safety tips from Con Edison. During this blizzard, to keep yourself safe, you should always stay at least 30 feet away from any down power lines. Make sure that you have an emergency kit with you filled with water, food, blankets. To report a power outage, you could always use the Con Edison mobile app.
This morning, we also want to let you know about some travel bans that are in effect across the Hudson Valley. You are restricted from traveling on the roads unless you're considered essential personnel. When it comes to commercial vehicles, you are required to travel exclusively in the right lane on all state roads. There's also a travel ban for tractor trailers with 2 or more trailers on the Thruway 84 and 287. Now, we want to also give you an update on the Cuomo Bridge. That speed limit lowered to 45 miles an hour, but please drive for the conditions out there because we know things are really bad, especially when you're crossing that span. Those rules will be lifted as soon as the conditions allow for it. And the roads in Rockland County are extremely tough to navigate this morning. The town of Ramapo police chief tells us the blizzard is making for very dangerous driving conditions and has this request for Ramapo residents.
I'm asking, and I mean this sincerely, please stay off the roads. Unless you're an essential worker, if you support law enforcement, the fire department, EMS, highway crews, and all of the people working trying to keep up on this storm, the single most important thing that you can do is stay off the road.
The chief tells us they have already responded to numerous accidents with drivers crashing into things like trees or in some cases winding up in ditches. And Rockland's highway superintendent says all trucks in the county are out attacking the snow right now.
Once it stops, we'll push back to curb and do a complete salting. And then hopefully at that time, the public will be able to go back out on the road.
But we are definitely a few hours away from that. A state of emergency is also in effect in Westchester's largest city this morning. Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano says a travel ban is now in effect until 10 a.m., adding that parking is supposed to be avoided and not allowed on snow emergency routes for the duration of this storm.
And I cannot make exceptions. And I know that here in Yonkers, parking is a premium, and I know that it is a hardship for many of you, and but that's something that we don't want to be in the position of doing something that will help you short term, but will really hurt you long term, because when that snows and the snow builds up and then it freezes over, cars are frozen in, and we can't clean the streets without a full recovery effort.
The mayor says parked cars that are not moved are subject to being ticketed and towed. For a full list of the affected streets, please visit the Yonkers City website.
Orange and Rockland Utility says it's got people ready to tackle any outages in its area. A spokesperson says utility workers are given training year-round for weather events just like this one. Crews will be responding to outages as they are happening. He says it's so important to always be prepared for them.
Making sure they have flashlights and extra batteries ready to go. If an outage does occur, we encourage customers to reach out to us right away. Don't assume that we know.
Take a look at your screen. You could use any of these methods if you need to report an outage, and hopefully you don't have to. If you had a trip planned, you may not be leaving the Hudson Valley today. You're not going to. We'll have the latest on the flight cancellations. And they need to do their jobs in order to save some lives. What firefighters need you to do so that they can respond quickly to emergencies during the storm. But first, let's get a check of that forecast with Addison Green.
Oh, Jen, the forecast is just blah. I mean, looking outside, you can't see a single thing, barely even the train station from the Metro North Tarrytown point of view right there, where you can typically see the Cuomo Bridge and look out across the Hudson River. Instead, that visibility is down to around a quarter of a mile, possibly even lower than that. We can see the visibility is running very low. Putnam, Rockland, Westchester County, because we have a slow-moving band of moderate to heavy snowfall coming down. You can see over the past hour that band slowly making its way through Westchester in towards Rockland County, and most recently down across central portions to eastern portions of Rockland County, right in between Clarkstown and Valley Cottage. We can see 4.5 inches of snow potentially per hour coming down over a lake right there, heading westward in towards Rockford Drive and over in towards Strawtown Road as well. So going through the first half of the day, we'll still deal with those blizzard conditions, bands of snow coming down at high rates from time to time, gusty winds 30 to 50 miles per hour, creating whiteout conditions and the potential of seeing some coastal concerns along the Long Island Sound.